want to call our regularly monthly board meeting to order. I'd like to thank everyone for coming out tonight. I want to be so quiet. Anyway, gosh, I guess everybody was glad to get back into school today, right? It seems like you've been out forever, but are you, Dr. Gandy, did you make all the calls we needed so there won't be any more snow? Or?
No, there won't be any more snow. We're good.
Anyway, I'm glad to see everybody out and appreciate the administration, all the staff members and everyone that's out tonight. And, when I came in, a couple old guys that retired, I mean, it's good to see you guys, Dale and everybody's over there. And Miss Tim too. I mean, they all look like retirement civilians with them, you know? I mean, they look so refreshed. But at this time, I would like to ask Mr. Burgess if you'll lead us in a word of prayer.
Sure. Father, we thank you for the opportunity to gather here tonight. Lord, we first give you thanks and praise, Lord, for keeping us safe during the storms the last couple of weeks. And just pray that you will watch after us as we deliberate on our business for tonight, Lord. But most of all, we just thank you for your Son, Jesus Christ. In his name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Would everyone stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, at this time, our Superintendent, Dr. Ganey, will share some comments.
Thank you, Mr. Cook. The last month has been quite interesting with the weather, as everybody knows. But I do want to take a moment and congratulate two middle school teams who won middle school basketball tournaments on January 23. Northeastern Randolph Middle School won the girls tournament on January 23, and Wheatmore Middle School boys. The girls Northeastern, the boys at Wheatmore Middle School won the tournament on January 23. So I want to congratulate both of those teams. It was a great night. We got that in right before the winter weather started. Also want to take a moment and mention that February is Career Technical Education Month, and I want to thank all of our school level and central service level staff members who do a lot of great work in this curriculum area, and they continue to encourage kids to investigate numerous career fields as possibilities for their futures. I want to take a moment and thank several groups throughout our school system. First of all, this is Bus Driver Appreciation Week, and I want to thank all our permanent bus drivers and substitute bus drivers for all they do to start the day and end the day on a positive note for the school system. Also, I'd be wrong not to mention the members of the staff for the North Carolina Department of Transportation worked very hard for our school system the last 2 weeks, trying to get roads ready so we can get back in school. And just if any of them are listening, I want them to know that their extra work is not gone without notice, and it is greatly appreciated, as is the work of our transportation department and facilities maintenance department, custodians at school level, and other staff members at school level who have worked very hard to get us back in school after 2 weeks of inclement weather. Finally, I want to say a big thank you to our students, staff members, parents, and our board members for your patience during the past 2 weeks due to the changes in our schedule because of inclement weather. Hopefully today is the beginning of a long run of school days so we can get back in routine and recover the instruction that we had missed. But again, parents, I know it's when your children aren't in school, it does affect your schedule, your work schedules, and just appreciate your patience as we went through a week of optional teacher work days. We absorbed those days, and really appreciate the parents throughout the school system response to the remote learning days that we had last week, and our students and staff as well. So, Mr. Cook, at this moment, I want to step out front and make a special presentation if I could.
Okay.
That concludes my comments. So I know she probably would not want this to happen and would like us to skip over this, but we have a very special individual who is, this is her last board meeting with us. I don't know if I call her a big sister, a second mom. I don't want to say that and get her upset because we got some difference, but we're not that different. But has been a tremendous teammate. And I remember at the end of my first year, 13 years ago or 12 years ago, I said to Beverly when we were having her year-end evaluation, I said, Beverly, the thing I appreciate most about you, and there's a lot of things I appreciate about Beverly Fowler. And I've had some great support staff in my career as a principal, twice, assistant superintendent, and interim superintendent. No one comes close to Beverly Fowler. But what I really appreciated, and have always appreciated, is that when I came here, I told her in that first year how much she worked to learn me. She let me be me, just like this board has let me be me. And I will forever appreciate that. Because it's very difficult to lead when you wind up with 2 weeks of snow days. It's very difficult to lead when you want to get test scores up from where they are. It's very difficult if you don't have people who let you be yourself. And that's what's happened with Beverly Fowler in my office, and that's what's happened with this board. So I just want to say, Beverly, thank you. It's going to be different March 1. I've said to people, when you stay somewhere long enough, people start retiring. Beverly said, well, I was going to stay as long as you were, but you kept staying. So, all right, well, I kept staying because of you folks and the folks in the schools. That's why I kept staying. Make no mistake. I get up every day and I know I get to go see great kids. If I can get out of my office, which y'all weren't there last 2 weeks, that was kind of bad. Neither were the staff, was some in and out. And so but I get to see great kids, great staff every day. March 1's going to be different. Hannah Leonard is with us, and she is the next person up. I don't get into saying people replace people. I don't, because no one's ever told me to replace somebody I follow. They just told me to go in and be me. So on March 1, Hannah, if I call you Beverly, they just roll on, I'll get Hannah eventually, okay? But Beverly, if you come forward so we can recognize you. Now, one thing I'll tell you about Beverly, she knows I'm not a hugger. So she and I went to this event, so don't think bad if I didn't hug her. I'm not a hugger. But we went to this event, and every year we go, they recognize our executive assistants. And so all these superintendents in the region got up, and they told about their great executive superintendent, or executive assistants, and they all came up, and they gave each other big hugs in front of everybody. Brock, you've seen these events. Brock Mumble, one of my former colleagues as superintendent. And Beverly comes up and she says, I know he's not going to hug me, so we're just going to shake hands in front of everybody. And we did, didn't we, Beverly? We held to this is our game plan, this is the way we operate, right? But Beverly, we appreciate you, and the school system's going to miss you. And Beverly's a great example of every role matters in the school system. That's why we work so hard. And I'm just going to say this, while we work so hard in this school system, when funding is not there, every role matters here. And we work so hard to address it the best we can. Beverly, we're going to miss you greatly. And March 1 will be different.
Dr. Gainey, if we could, let's all of us get out here and get a picture with Beverly. Because she has made as a board member, she has done so much for us over the years. And I cannot tell you how many special things she's done to help this board. But I did notice one thing, Dr. Gainey, Beverly, let me just say something. Dr. Gainey said she's like a second mom. Well, by golly, she looks a lot younger than you.
Well, my son told me about 6 months ago, he said, you know, if anything ever happens to Mom, and my wife, and Miss Beverly, you're toast. And as I rode down the road, I started thinking about what he said in the back of the car, and I thought, you know, Jake, you're exactly right. That ain't gonna work.
Yeah, we get in here, Dr.
Oh,
I was going to say, Dr. Gainey, get in here too.
Y'all gonna have to scrunch up, okay?
Scrunch.
Alright.
Act like you
Right
like each
here,
other.
act like you love each other. 1, 2, 3. Got it.
All right. So now we're gonna move on, well, I need a motion to approve the January 12th, 2026 minutes.
So moved.
All right, have a second. Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. So now we're gonna move into the recognitions, and once again, parents, bring your students out. We certainly appreciate you taking the time to do that, and the staff members that come out to support them as well.
Thank you, Mr. Cook, and good evening to you, our other board members, Dr. Gainey, and to all of our guests. The North Carolina Center for the Advancement of Teaching, NCCAT, 2026 Burroughs Welcome Fund North Carolina Beginning Teacher of the Year Award celebrates the creativity and enthusiasm of beginning teachers, their mentors, school teams, and communities. The Beginning Teacher of the Year selection process was developed to recognize the unique challenges and achievements that new teachers experience during their first year in the classroom. On behalf of NCCAT and the Randolph County Board of Education, it is my honor to announce that Ashley Hutchins, a science teacher at Wheatmore Middle School, has been selected as a finalist for the NCCAT 2026 Burroughs Welcome Fund NC Beginning Teacher of the Year Award. This recognition celebrates Ms. Hutchins' outstanding contributions as a beginning teacher and the meaningful impact she is already making on her students and the broader community here in the Randolph County school system. As a result of this great honor, Ms. Hutchins will be attending a week of professional development with her fellow finalists in March, where interviews and portfolio reviews will be conducted by an expert panel of judges from across the state to determine the next North Carolina Beginning Teacher of the Year. On March 12th, NCCAT will celebrate all finalists and announce the winner at a recognition event at Wake Forest University's campus in Winston-Salem. We would also like to recognize several individuals who have joined us in support of Ms. Ashley Hutchins this evening. Matt Smith, principal of Wheatmore Middle School, Jessica Haynes, curriculum instructional specialist at Wheatmore Middle School, and Dr. Womble from NCCAT. We are grateful for their presence as we honor Ms. Hutchins. At this time, I would like to invite Ms. Hutchins to come forward and be recognized for this outstanding achievement. It is our privilege to present you with this certificate in recognition of your selection as an NCCAT 2026 Burroughs Welcome Fund NC Beginning Teacher of the Year finalist. In addition, NCCAT has provided a framed certificate of recognition. I would now like to invite Matt Smith, Jessica Haynes, and Dr. Womble to join Ms. Hutchins at the front for a photograph. Congratulations, you are free to leave. We have an athletic accomplishment to recognize this evening. The Providence Grove High School 2025-2026 varsity cheer team won the North Carolina High School Athletic Association Cheerleading Invitational on January 9, 2026. On Friday, January 9, the Providence Grove Patriot cheer team traveled to the Cabarrus Arena and Event Center in Concord, North Carolina, to compete in the 2025-2026 North Carolina High School Athletic Association Cheerleading Invitational. Decided by less than 1 point, the Patriot cheerleaders earned the first place trophy, securing the top spot in their category. This remarkable achievement is a testament to the athletes' hard work, dedication, and countless hours of practice, as well as leadership and commitment of their coaching staff. At this time, we would like to introduce the coaches and team members. We will present a Pride in RCSS team certificate to the head coach, and then we'll recognize each coach and cheerleader. Coaches and cheerleaders, as I call your name, please come forward and remain at the front until everyone has come forward so that we may get a team photo. As the team members are called, anyone here in support of the team members are welcome to stand. Dana Decker, head coach. Megan Marley, assistant coach. Katie McGuffin, assistant coach. Cody Moran, athletic director. Aaliyah Burkey. Adeline Bush. Adrina Casada. Anna Ellie Alvarez. Brooke Swan. Dakota Cockman. Caitlin Cook. Kenna Cole. Claire Norris. Leah Banks. Lindsay Winters. Malia Mills. Oakley Quakenbush. Riley McGuffin. And Layla Duggins. Congratulations to Coach Decker, Coach Marley, and Coach McGuffin and their state champion Providence Grove Patriots. Back up a little bit. And some of you girls, can you come down and stretch? Yeah, there you go. You're good. Y'all know how to do this. You're cheerleaders.
Get taller.
Hop down front, Cody.
Congratulations, you are dismissed. It is now time to recognize our Star 3 students for February 2026. We are in 2026. The Star 3 program honors students who are respectful, responsible, and doing the right thing. The criteria for selection could include being a role model for others, making positive accomplishments inside and outside of school, good attendance, passing grades despite obstacles in life, good behavior, and nomination from a faculty member.
Yours may have a dent in it.
See what happens when
All right, go ahead.
Keep going.
I'm trying to collect myself. We again want to extend our gratitude to our Star 3 sponsor, Wayne Thomas Chevrolet, who will purchase the 93 Star 3 student flags to be handed out during this school year. We are grateful for their support of our students. And now for the presentation of the Star 3 awards. Students, as I call your name, please come to the front to receive your flag and remain at the front until all the students have come forward. Parents, other family members, or anyone else here in support of the student are welcome to stand. After all students have come forward, there will be an opportunity to take photos at the end. Coleridge Elementary School. Izzy Richardson. Izzy is a model student at Coleridge. She is responsible and kind, and she is always positive with a smile on her face. Izzy is helpful to both students, and other students can always be counted on to do the right thing. She works hard to learn new things and shows her determination through her can-do attitude every day. We are so thankful that Izzy is part of our Rocket family, and we are proud to call her our Star 3 student. Eastern Randolph High School, Jacob Gassey. Cadet Jacob Gassey demonstrates strong personal growth, leadership, and dedication both in and out of the classroom. Through consistent effort and determination, he has shown noticeable improvement in his academic performance, reflecting his commitment to self-improvement and responsibility. Beyond academics, he actively volunteers within the community, giving his time to support and serve others. As a dedicated member of the JROTC After School Raiders program, he exemplifies discipline, teamwork, and perseverance. Never hesitant to step up, he shows natural leadership and the ability to take charge when needed, making him a positive role model among his peers. Farmer Elementary School, Gunnar Lanier. Gunnar is a humble, kind, and thoughtful fourth grade student who consistently listens, follows directions, and goes out of his way to help the teacher with extra activities. He is gentle and respectful with his classmates and sets a positive example through his quiet kindness and willingness to help others. Gunnar represents all that is good at Farmer, and we are proud to have him as our Star 3 student. Seagrove Elementary School, Cash Clapp. Cash is a delightful and conscientious student. He works hard in everything he does. He is very respectful and displays roar behavior at school. He is always willing to help a classmate in need or assist an adult with tasks. Seagrove is excited to announce Cash as our Star 3 student. Southeastern Randolph Middle School, Darwin Flores Cunha. Darwin Flores Cunha is a truly deserving Star 3 student who consistently demonstrates compassion, intelligence, and a strong work ethic. He is a conscientious learner who supports his classmates, shows great respect to teachers, and is always willing to help whenever needed. Darwin's strong will and positive attitude set an excellent example for others. As a member of the Battle of the Books team, Beta Club, and Junior Civitans Club, he shows outstanding commitment both academically and through service. Darwin's character and leadership make him an outstanding example of what it means to be a Wildcat. Southmont Elementary School, Brinley Pritchard. Brinley Pritchard is a wonderful first grade student who consistently demonstrates positive behavior, a kind and caring attitude, and a strong willingness to help others. She treats her classmates with kindness, follows directions, and sets a great example for her peers. Whether she is offering a helping hand or brightening the room with her positive spirit, Brinley truly makes our school a better place each day. Brinley's efforts to consistently demonstrate behaviors that are ready, responsible, and respectful make her a wonderful example for others, and we are proud to honor her as Southmont Elementary's Star 3 student. Southwestern Randolph High School, Bailey Newman. Bailey has demonstrated remarkable growth throughout her 4 years at Southwestern Randolph High School. Since her freshman year, she has matured both academically and personally, raised her GPA, challenged herself with an increased number of honors level courses, completed her CTE concentration, and became an engaged and contributing member of the Southwestern Randolph High School community. The faculty and staff at Southwestern Randolph High School are so proud of Bailey and look forward to watching her continue to grow and thrive after high school. Congratulations to Bailey Newman on being selected as Southwestern Randolph High School's Star 3 student for February. Southwestern Randolph Middle School, Peyton Whitehead. Peyton Whitehead is an 8th grader at Southwestern Randolph Middle School. She was nominated by her CTE teacher, Mr. Manus, who states that Peyton is the most respectful student that he has taught. Peyton is level-headed, kind, and consistently polite to those around her and is helpful to her peers and teachers. She maintains excellent grades in all courses and is a player on the Southwestern Randolph Middle School girls soccer team. She always puts her education first and has an incredible work ethic, which is evidence of why Peyton has been named our Star 3 student for the month of February. Tabernacle Elementary School, Samantha Barnes. Samantha comes in every morning ready to learn, always prepared and happy. She works hard in every class, always tries her best on everything she is asked to do, and she is a good example for her peers. Samantha is always kind and considerate of other children and respectful to teachers, staff, and other students. She follows directions and school rules, strives to improve herself in every way, and is constantly looking to grow both academically and personally. For all of these reasons, Samantha Barnes is an excellent choice for Tabernacle's Star 3 student. Uwharrie Ridge 612, Natalie Johnson. Natalie Johnson has been selected as the Uwharrie Ridge 612 Star 3 student because she consistently exemplifies excellence both in and out of the classroom. Natalie is a straight-A student who demonstrates a strong commitment to her academics while also balancing her responsibilities as a student athlete. She proudly represents Uwharrie Ridge 612 by participating in both softball and basketball, showing dedication, teamwork, and perseverance. Natalie serves as a positive role model by treating all students with kindness and respect and leading by example each day. Her character, work ethic, and positive influence make her a well-deserving Star 3 honoree for Uwharrie Ridge 612. Okay, you guys scrunch in. You go in the back and you keep speaking. There you go. All right, look up here. It's Beverly. Good job. You may be seated. Congratulations. Now it's time to recognize our STAR employees for February 2026. The RCSS STAR Employee Award recognizes school employees who take responsibility, exhibit good character, and serve students on an ongoing basis. Each of our 31 school awards 2 STAR employees each school year. Central Services awards 4 STAR employees annually. Awards are presented at our monthly Board of Education meetings from September through February. For the 8th year in a row, Vicki Gallimore of RE/MAX Central Realty is serving as the sponsor of our RCSS STAR Employee Awards. As sponsor, Vicki Gallimore is purchasing the 66 plaques to be handed out to our winners during the 2025-2026 school year. We are extremely grateful for Vicki Gallimore's support of our school staff members. STAR employees, as I call your name, please come forward to receive your plaque, and as the award recipient comes forward, anyone here in support of the STAR employee is welcome to stand. Employees remain standing at the front, and we will have an opportunity to take a group photo at the end. Coleridge Elementary School, Stephanie Dunn. Mrs. Dunn is a leader among our staff and never hesitates to lend a helping hand. She provides meaningful opportunities that help her students grow as individuals and reach their full potential. Ms. Dunn values strong family collaboration and believes it is key to student success. She is a dedicated advocate for her students and works without hesitation to meet their individual needs. We are so thankful that Stephanie is part of our Rocket family, and we are proud to call her our STAR staff member. Eastern Randolph High School, Courtney Carter. Courtney Carter embodies the spirit of a wildcat. She greets every day with a smile, with a confidence beyond a beginning teacher. Courtney has a positive energy, contagious to both students and staff alike. As a former ERHS graduate, Courtney is a strong presence both in the classroom as well as coaching volleyball and softball. Congratulations to our February STAR employee, Courtney Carter. Farmer Elementary School, Crystal Simpson. Mrs. Simpson cares passionately and goes above and beyond for every student at Farmer. She consistently puts in extra effort with our activities committee to create fun, engaging experiences for everyone at school, from theme song Thursdays to special events celebrating our teachers. She also serves as our lead mentor and pours her knowledge and support into our beginning teachers. She is a crucial part of our Farmer family, and we are proud to have her as our STAR employee. Seagrove Elementary School, Stacy Gilman. Mrs. Gilman has a patient and kind demeanor with her students. She is passionate about helping her students achieve goals. Mrs. Gilman is very organized and goes above and beyond to work with struggling students. She plans exciting lessons, and her classroom always displays creativity, which is of high interest to students. Seagrove is excited to announce Mrs. Gilman as our STAR employee. South Southeastern Randolph Middle School, Monique Staley. Monique Staley is truly a star employee who pours her heart into her classroom and consistently goes above and beyond for every student. Despite having a very challenging role, she approaches each day with a positive attitude, a constant smile, and a desire to make each day great. Monique's dedication and genuine care for students make a meaningful impact on their success and well-being. She is also an outstanding teammate who supports and uplifts those around her. We are incredibly fortunate to have her as part of our Wildcat team. Southmont Elementary School, Julia Brady. Ms. Julia Brady exemplifies unwavering dedication and commitment to our school community. She is always willing to help others and consistently goes above and beyond the call of duty by supporting and leading extracurricular activities. Through thoughtful planning and genuine care for her students' success, she ensures high-quality instructions in every classroom she serves. Julia is also a true team player, collaborative, dependable, and always ready to support both colleagues and students. Her positive impact is felt throughout the school, and we are proud to honor her as Southmont Elementary's star employee. Southwestern Randolph High School, Samuel Coley. Mr. Coley has made an exceptional and lasting impact on multilingual students and their families at Southwestern Randolph High School by building strong, trusting relationships that help students feel welcomed and supported while ensuring families feel informed and valued. He is highly attuned to individual student needs and skillfully adapts his instruction to promote language development and academic success. Through consistent advocacy and daily commitment, he helps students overcome barriers and thrive within the school community. Mr. Coley brings energy, care, and professionalism to his work, always putting students first and strengthening the entire school. His positive impact will be felt long beyond his time at Southwestern Randolph High School, and we congratulate him on being selected as star employee for February. Southwestern Randolph Middle School, Megan Rose. Megan has served in several roles at Southwestern Randolph Middle School since joining the team roughly 8 years ago. She is an EC teacher and has also served as the EC department chair since last school year, and has been able to demonstrate leadership in this capacity as well as serving as a coach for the girls' soccer team. She consistently advocates for the needs of students she teaches, and her commitment to growing as a professional was highlighted by her completion of a doctoral program earlier this school year. We are grateful for Dr. Rose and her dedication to the Southwestern Randolph Middle School community, and that is why we are proud to nominate her as our star employee for February. Tabernacle Elementary School, Natalie Wilburn. Ms. Wilburn helps teachers with technology within the classroom and is always a smiling face around the school. This year, she has jumped right in and makes everyone feel welcome as they enter the media center. Our library is an inviting atmosphere where students want to go and learn each day. Mrs. Wilburn is willing to support students and teachers in and out of the classroom, loves students, and keeps the media center looking amazing. Mrs. Wilburn has been a huge asset to Tabernacle this year and the definition of a Tabernacle star employee. Uwharrie Ridge 612, Candace Curry. Candace Curry has been selected as a star employee for Uwharrie Ridge 612 due to her outstanding leadership, dedication, and positive impact on our school community. Mrs. Curry serves on the PBIS team and is a strong leader within the Uwharrie Ridge 612 CTE department, consistently supporting both students and staff. She fosters positive relationships with all students and colleagues and is always willing to serve in any capacity where she is needed. In addition, Mrs. Curry represents Uwharrie Ridge 612 as a member of the Randolph Teacher Leader Group with Dr. Gainey, demonstrating her commitment to continuous improvement. Her proactive approach to addressing concerns and her unwavering professionalism make her a truly deserving star employee. All right, if you guys can scrunch together. Thank you. Congratulations. You are dismissed.
Okay, at this time, we'll move on to public comments. We have two people that have signed up tonight, and we'll have 3 minutes. The first one is Rebecca McClendon. You want to come up?
Hello, my daughter, she goes to URI Ridge 612, and as a mother of a very troubled child that has been through a lot, it was told today that there's a possibility that our school might be closing, and I just want to speak in behalf of my daughter and other children that I know. I really hope that you guys take in consideration. I know it might be a small school, but some children, that's what they need. My daughter, my daughter specifically has went from not even wanting to go to school to where for the past 3 years that she's been at URI Ridge, she has had perfect attendance. She has received awards throughout the community. She has joined their drama team. She has went from the child that would sit over in the corner to helping others. And I know, like, you know, students first and all we do, and I just really hope that y'all take in consideration that even though it is a smaller school, that I really hope y'all consider not closing the school, because it is very detrimental to our community. The teachers there has so much compassion, and I, for one, am grateful for this school system and for the school. So I just wanted to speak in behalf of my daughter and others that y'all really take in consideration not closing our school. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, up next, Rachel Staley.
I'm very not good at this, I'm sorry. But, me and my family moved to the area. We had trouble getting my middle daughter into a school because she has basically Tourette's. And these fun people believed in her, helped me get her in that school, told me what I needed to do. Miss Cochran, she fought for Emma. and helped me get her in. And my kids went from second and third grade levels to higher levels. They help them, they take care of them. They are the best teachers in this county, in my opinion. I have 3 daughters there, and they get up every morning wanting to go to school. They want to see their teachers. My oldest, Kira, gives at least most of these fine teachers hugs every morning, 3-4 times a day, because she loves them so much. They appreciate my kids, and I appreciate them. And the school has changed my kids for the better. They make AV honor roll. My oldest is in beta club, student council. That was never an option for Kira. She was an ADHD wild kid. And now she's focused and learning, and what I'm saying is they love this school. And I wish there was more people to speak on it, but we appreciate y'all, and we appreciate them and everything y'all do. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, we appreciate you sharing those comments. At this time, I need a motion to adopt the meeting agenda. So moved. Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, at this time, we're gonna move on to information items for Dr. Gaines.
Okay, board members, we have several gifts tonight to present. First gift is Hopewell Elementary School, and on January 29, Carla Miller, principal of Hopewell Elementary School, made me aware of a gift given to her school by an anonymous donor in the amount of $1,000 to be used for general student needs. I accepted this gift on January 30, and this is an information item since it is $5,000 or less per board policy 8220. The next gift in your packet is to Randall Elementary School. On January 21, Sean Shoptow, principal of Randall Elementary School, made me aware of a gift given to the school by the Randall and Civitans in the amount of $250. The use of the gift was unrestricted, so the school has flexibility to determine its use. I accepted this gift on January 23, and it's an information item since it is $5,000 or less per board policy 8220. The final gift is to Trinity Middle School. On January 10, I received an email from Justin Pugh, principal of Trinity Middle School, regarding a gift to his school, and it was my Miracle Grow potty mix. It was given by Woodman Life Chapter 1282. The approximate value of this gift was $400, and it's to be used for the school's agriculture department. I accepted this gift on January 12, and this is an information item since it is $5,000 or less. So, board members, as always, we appreciate these gifts from various people and groups throughout the county. And any questions, I'll answer. Okay, thank you.
Okay, Beth Davis.
Good evening, board members. Nice to be back in front of you this month. I have 2 grants to present. They are both for information items. Per board policy 8220, as they are $5,000 or less. The first grant is a Donors Choose grant. It is in the amount of $1,032.49. And this grant has purchased 89 Braille books for the media center at Franklinville Elementary School. Amy Meadows, the media specialist, was responsible for submitting this request. Are there any questions on that grant? That actually surpassed what she asked for, so Donors Choose collected more than she had originally proposed. The second grant, Anthony Broche is responsible for submitting this grant. This grant is the North Carolina Department of Public Instruction Hygiene Products Grant. It is in the amount of $5,000, and we were notified on January 2nd of this grant, receiving this grant. This funding will be used to purchase hygiene products, which will be distributed across the county. And per board policy 8220, this is an information item. So it's $5,000 or less. Any questions?
Thank you.
Thank you, Ben.
Thank you.
All right, Marty Trotter.
Okay, good evening, board members. Tonight I bring to you the monthly reporting of any contracts of $50,000 or more, and this is per board policy 6420. This month we have three POs. First one is Gregory Pool. It's for yellow replacement buses in the amount of $488,520. Second one is Carolina Thomas LLC, again for replacement yellow buses in the amount of $331,378. And finally, White's International Trucks, which is replacement yellow bus as well, and that's in the amount of $167,212.
How many buses is that total, Mark?
That'll be 6 total. It was 3, 2, and 1.
Do you take, the buses leave, we take them out when they get a certain mileage or
It's
year or
year
what?
or mileage.
Okay.
It depends on whichever hits first.
Okay.
And it's 250,000 miles or 20 years old.
Okay, okay.
State council.
And then what do we do with those?
Well, they go back to the state,
They go
because
back
they're
to-
actually state-owned vehicles. So this funding for these purchases runs through the state. They
Okay,
finance the buses for us, they send us the payments for it, so it just runs through our books.
okay,
Pretty much, it's a wash.
yeah, I gotcha,
Okay?
okay.
Thank you, Marty.
Okay, this time, I need a motion to approve the consent items.
So moved.
We have a second.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Opposed? Okay, so, at this time, we're gonna move on to the action items, but I'm gonna switch it up a little bit. I'm gonna let Larry, let you go first on the school calendar.
All right, good evening, board members. Tonight I bring you the recommendation to approve the 27-28 school calendar. This is the second reading of this calendar. So the calendar includes 180 student days, 14 teacher work days, 11 holidays, 10 annual leave, for a total of 215 days per the guidelines by the state calendar law. Calendar also includes an inclement weather makeup plan for the first 5 days missed or absorbed, and as we saw, we definitely needed those so far this year. So, the calendar committee was slated to meet on January 14th, but that's back when I had the flu that week. So, I sent an email on the 13th to the calendar committee, detailing the comments that we had, which was overwhelmingly that we needed to switch the open house with the elementary and high school, because originally, as the first draft read, that would have spelled that the elementaries would have had their open house the same day as the professional development day, which was overwhelming, a lot of comment on that. And because elementary schools are a lot heavier attended for their open houses, so they felt they needed that extra time for the teachers to be ready for that open house. So based on me having the flu and sending an email, the calendar committee reviewed the comment and replied that, and we agreed to not physically meet, but base it off that. So the calendar has been, there's a copy attached that has that swap made. Other than that, it is the same as was presented in November.
Any questions or comments? Okay, so we need a motion to approve the 2027-2028 school calendar.
So moved.
We have a second.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion carries.
Now, we'd like to thank the two ladies on the board for serving on the calendar committee. Appreciate your willingness.
So in your opinion, they do such a good job, there's no need changing it, correct?
Well, I don't want to speak for them, but they did a fabulous job. They responded to my email just like that. So the second thing, board members, is a recommendation to revise the current calendar with the following two calendar revisions being recommended, which One is the early release day last week, 2 to 5, needs to be changed to a full student day. And the second is the teacher work day next Monday on 2/16 to be changed to a full student day. And there is a copy of the current calendar attached if you.
And board members, we already technically extended that day on Thursday, so we're just cleaning that up with application from last Thursday, February 5. I don't think, we discussed that a little bit the prior week when we hoped we were back in school last week. After missing the first full week, we thought having an early release day that second week would not have been good. It turned out it was a remote learning day anyways, it was a full school day. So the next thing we've got is trying to get us another student day, get kids back in routine, and also hoping we'll have enough to cover the weather so we don't touch spring break, if possible.
So as of right now, we've used our 5 built-in days, we've used our 5 remote days. So this day, which is actually listed on the calendar, I think is a possible makeup day. So this will give us an extra day, so.
We've got a little bit of give in our time in addition, so if we got hit with something big, we certainly will need this as well as any little bit of give.
Because if we didn't take this day, we did have to miss a day, we could potentially take that day off of spring break, right, the day we'd come back? Would that be the next day that would be?
The next makeup day is the Friday of spring break.
So the Friday of spring break.
I just think there's a lot of reasons.
Yeah.
We've got a little bit of give, but if we get hit with another week, like we have, we're gonna need this day and every little bit of give we've still got in our hours. And remember, our little bit of give, anytime we come late, that counts against our hours. So we need every bit of give we have left in our hours to cover late arrivals, or what if we get hit or talking about snow this weekend.
We've always done a good job to try to preserve spring break if all possible.
This would give us enough, we got hit again, we probably could have enough to withstand not hitting spring break if we got hit.
So,
March 3rd, another day or not?
Well, March 3rd is so here's what's interesting about counting. March 3rd is not listed as a makeup day. March 3rd is the election day, so here's what you would need to do if you had to use March 3rd, you would trade, see, the thing that drives it all, the second biggest driver is you have to have 10 annual leave days in your calendar. We have 10. You can't have 9, the law says 10. So if we went to use March 3rd, we would probably at some point want to flip April 10, last day of spring break, to March 3rd. That would keep students off campus that day. The annual leave day would keep teachers off campus. Right now it's teacher work day, and we cancel it being a teacher work day and make that a student day on April 10th if we got into that. See, we don't need to add anymore if we got into that.
You would need to have a meeting to.
Yeah, we'd have to have a meeting.
Just so you understand that changing the 5th to a student day was okay because it wasn't designated as an annual leave day, but you do need to ratify it.
Yeah.
And spring break is actually annual leave days, right?
They're all annual leave days, so you can't trade one of those days out straight up and say that's gonna be a student day. You've got to find somewhere else to put that annual leave day.
Okay.
And you don't wanna add annual leave days above 10, because these teachers out here on annual leave day, you don't get to work in lieu of getting a day of leave taken from you. So now we're taking leave from them, so you don't wanna take any more annual leave days than, you don't wanna put any more in there than you have, but the law says we have to have 10 of those. So we can't take one of those away and make it a student day, or take one away, make it a teacher work day. We don't need any more optional teacher work days unless we have to put them in for weather.
You know, I hear people say you can petition for, more remote days and all, but that's not a guarantee that I know of with the state, but.
I think
you
we,
know,
a few years ago, didn't we add like 5 or 10 minutes a day, one time?
Yeah, we did.
It's been a
long time.
The problem with that is you start getting, if we add too much, it starts getting into employment issues. I think we did way back. We missed a lot of days when I first got
Probably
here.
10 years.
It was snowing like every other week. And where I moved to, I thought I moved to the mountains this summer, so much back then.
That's right, soon as you came, I think. it
I
was-
never had snow, and then I came to church.
And I told you, your kids were small then. if you would just build a snowman, it would go away. And a couple of years later, he put electric stuff when he plug in, but he never built a snowman. But, so, are you guys any more conversation or talk, discussion, are you ready? Okay, so we need to.
I want to say something. I've been asked this twice in the last 2 weeks. How many days do you have to make up after the first week? And I just need the public to know that our Board of Education manages our calendar very well and has done a great job for years on this. And so it was last Sunday before the next 5 days, I said, we don't have any we have to make up, we still have 5 remote days. I got to ask that question again today, how many days do you have left to make up? And with great pleasure, I said, we don't have any to make up right now, and that's because of the way your calendar looks. And teachers out there and staff out there, there's a lot of, we get it. We need to be in school. We need to be in school. We need the kids to go on a run of days and be in school. That's why this recommendation is coming about Monday. It's not as much about Monday as getting some continuity and getting the kids back in their classes too. But if you look at our calendar, the breaks, the teacher work days are all well planned if the year goes as planned. For teachers to get a change in, a teacher work day is a different day than a student day. You can go eat lunch somewhere if you want to. Sit in the cafeteria doing lunch duty. You need spring break. Now, there's going to come a day when we're not going to have the whole spring break. It may be 3 years from now, it could be this year, who knows? But I can tell you the conversation that goes on between this board and myself and staff when we have weather is there's priorities set, and the big priorities are instruction, but also maintaining breaks for teachers. So I just hope anybody there listening is hearing that, because there's a lot of, we wanted to go to school on Friday. One of my colleagues was devastated. He thought he was going to get in Friday, and at 7 o'clock Thursday night said, I can't do it either, we're going to be out again. I mean, it's been a difficult couple of weeks on that end, because the board wants to make sure staff take care of it too. But I will say, if that comes and we have to use part of spring break at some point, it's not been from lack of effort. It would be very easy to go right to spring break and call it a day. But that's the last thing this board has done in all my time here. So, sorry, Larry, I didn't mean to hold you up. You're probably tired of seeing it there.
It's in their hands.
2 more things.
I've got them.
You got them? Go ahead.
So, what you say?
I'm just waiting on your votes.
I agree with you on the calendar. I think we've done a good job on that. I mean, everybody has an opinion and go 100 different ways, but, I mean, we're not meeting here tonight to decide that we need to add 15, 20 minutes a day on the school or whatever, and it takes a long time to make 2 or 3 days up when you add 15, 20 minutes a day.
And that's not discounting the extra work on teachers to get the kids caught up, because you missed 2 weeks of instruction. And so you've got to figure a way to get them caught up. That's not discounting that either. And this board does not discount this. I know they don't, because of the conversations we have.
And for those that might email me tonight at 10 or 15, well, we were going somewhere this weekend. You know what? It is what it is. I mean, if you have plans, I get it. But our job is to do what's best for the big picture, and so I think that is the best thing to do. So at this time, I need a motion to approve the revisions to the 2025-2026 school calendar.
So moved.
Need a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Brett, I need you to step up a little bit.
All right, 2 more items that do not require votes. The report cards are going out tomorrow, and the 100th day is February 12th, this Thursday. And you referenced something a little earlier that this new guy, well, the new guy here's got 37 years, so I've just been in the shadows most of my career, but so I'm going to take liberties of my 37 years while I have the podium and echo everything Dr. Gainey said about Beverly faculty. A few months that I have been in the main office building, she has been, she did it twice today. Larry, are you okay? You need anything? What can I help you do? She's just absolute jewel, and I've known her since I was 9, and we had to go. But Beverly, we appreciate you. We love you. We're going to miss you, okay?
Thank you,
I'm
Larry.
thinking of that little 9-year-old boy now. He was mischievous, wasn't he? Little Dennis the Menace. But, okay, so now we're gonna go back up to number 1.
Yeah, board members, just know I'll put a phone message out to parents with with the change tomorrow. I'll put it out tomorrow evening, and also note what day 100 is changed to, and also will note that report cards were sent home. Because by the time the message gets to parents, the report cards would have gone home. Okay. Board members, the next item on the agenda is, I want to go through a report that has a study that has been completed in the last couple of weeks on UR 612, completed with the idea of the possibility of closing UR 612. As the document says, I'm going to give you a hard copy of the study. It is also on the screen. So closing a school requires some specific steps to be taken. So statutory steps, so I'm going to walk through this very carefully. I'm not going to read the entire thing, the entire report, but this is a report on a study that's been completed in my office regarding UR Ridge 612. It's been a thorough study, and it's been focused primarily on the welfare of the children if the school was to be closed. And it notes that resources, this is the executive summary right here, resources would be, from the closing, would be used to address some of the reductions in funding from the state. As did the study, the need and demand for UR Ridge 612 has declined significantly since the opening of this school in 1718, and I will reference the history of this campus in just a second. An indication of the need and demand is indicated by the lack of or lower enrollment, which I'll show later. The school has been below the state standards and expectations with performance for many years. And through this study, to move through here, through this study, the current students in grades 6, 7, you're going to hear me refer to that, because they're who will still be in middle school next year. The current students in grade 8 through 11 will be your high school students. We're focusing on that. The kids who are there. And we do see that their reassignment to Southwestern Randolph Middle School or Southwestern Randolph High School, we see that it would not be disrupted. There is room. There will be inconvenience should this happen to families. There'll be greater distance, which I will show you in a little while as we move through this study. But I can assure you students with special needs would be accommodated in their schools, at their new schools. And the final factor is cost. Down here, through the executive study, down in there, you'll see the final factor is cost. There would be savings if you chose to close UR Ridge 612, which could benefit our school system in light of the reductions in funding from the state. Now let's talk about, the first thing I want to talk about is just a little bit of an overview of the school. The school opened in 2002-2003 school year with a capacity of 660. It never reached its capacity. And what a lot of people may not know is due to the water sewer system on that campus, nothing can be done to increase the capacity. You cannot build a wing on that school campus. You cannot bring in mobile classrooms should you go above 660. So we're locked in a little bit. I would note this is not in the study, but I will note this. In 9 of the 15 years the school was in middle school, it did not reach 430 students. And as a middle school, the highest it ever reached as a middle school was 457 one year. The last year it was a middle school, May of 2017, there was 339 students on the campus. We were watching this, and this is what led to the Water Ridge 612 project. We were concerned about the low enrollment, and we were just concerned of using the campus, utilizing more. So that's where the idea of making it a 612 school, and that's where the idea of the Water Ridge 612 came from. By the 2020-2021 school year, all 4 high school grade levels have been added. From the time I presented this project, it was 5 big highlights. One was we were going to have 1 high school grade level per year. It was going to be the school system's first one-to-one technology school. The students were going to be involved in 1 of 3 schools of study. These highlights are at the top of page 3. Public service, leadership, and communication, technology, design. We were going to offer an activity bus after school. So the high school level kids could go to Southwest Randolph High School, which is where we assigned high school athletics to, and we gave them every day after school activity bus that was going to take them over to participate in that as well as marching band and some other things if they had surface, extracurricular wise. And finally, the school was an application school, meaning that anybody in the system could apply to go there. 2 other key aspects was with this project, we were adding 300 high school seats to the southwestern zone and leaving 300 middle school seats open in URI Middle. So in those days, first time this project was presented was January 17, 2017. That's the first time it really hit the public. At the time, as you see, Southwest Randolph High School was our most crowded school. 104% had 16 trailers. So also at the time, the plan in Randolph County school system had been to build Providence Grove, Wheatmore High School, and a new high school down in the southwestern zone. So in those days, a high school was $40 million. This was during my first year here. For $410,000, we made the conversion of URI Ridge 612. The plan was first presented January 17, 2017, in a joint meeting in this room with county commissioners and our board. We presented it then. Didn't know where it was going to go, so I got a call the next day, and the county commissioners told me to come present it to them on February 6, 2017. And at that time, they approved the funding so we could go ahead and get ready. It was one of our budget requests for the next year, for the 17-18 year, but they gave us the money to go ahead and start implementing the plan. And so here you can see some things that happened. We had to advertise the southwestern zone. We advertised other zones in the system. We started talking to kids who were in middle school grades at URI Middle School. It's about staying. That was our biggest recruiter early on. We talked to the kids at the other middle school in the southwestern zone, which was Southwest Middle. We went to elementary schools, trying to recruit elementary kids to come to URI Ridge out of elementary school. We started working on a master schedule with high school and middle school courses. We started working on courses, curriculum resources, Chromebooks. We purchased Chromebooks for the one-to-one technology. Again, the whole project was $410,000. Now, much to our delight, the early days of the project looked very promising. We had increased enrollment numbers. So remember, May of 17, we had 339 kids on that campus as a middle school. I can tell you, it was 395 as of January 16, 2018. I remember that was 58 ninth graders. But overall, 396 as of October 1 of each year, 17, 18. You see it continuing to rise. We added grades 9 and 10, 9 to 9 and 10, 444. And then 19, 20 was 9, 10, 11, we're at 507. The school, based on everything I've reviewed, that campus never had over 500 kids until we got there. Then we added grade 12 in 2021, and we dropped a little bit. So we had an increase of 89 students from year 1 of the project to year 4. We also had an increase of 146 students on the campus when you compared year 4 with the first graduating class to the last year of it being middle school. So things were going good, and we thought we were going to be able to stabilize this campus. Within the last 5 years, these numbers represent October 1 of each school year, and you see we've had a steady decline. So 478 on down, you can see the 369 this year as of October 1. This is a decrease of 116 students since the first year of all 4 classes, 2021, and it's a decrease of 138 students since the year we had grades 9 through 11. And so now, when you look at the campus, here we are, 25, 26, that is only 30 students more than we had on the campus the last year it was middle school. So we had grade 6, 12, and we're at 369. We had grade 6, 8, we were concerned, and it was 339. So some other things that happened, this is still in the overview section, what we did to try to increase some interest there. When we first started out, you got locked in kind of to a school of study. During the middle school years, we kind of let up on that and said you could touch multiple schools of study as you try to make a decision on what you were going to do at the high school level in that area. To be quite frank, we struggled in that area with the schools of study. I would say Tammy was involved as well. But some other highlights and additional things we did. We talked about this. We did the after-school activity bus. We allowed the children that were in the high school grade levels to go to Southwest High for athletics and marching band. Why did we do that? Because that's where they would have gone had we not done this UR 612 project. But if you look down there, concerns rose. October 21, 2019, the board talked about this in the work session, right at the bottom of page 3. And then by November 18, 2019, the board made a decision to stop athletics and then stop the academic or the after-school activity bus. Why did that happen? Well, in the fall of 18, we only have 14 athletes participating in athletics at Southwest High. Fall of 19, it was down to 7. Fall of 19, we only have 4 children in marching band at Southwest Randolph High School. And in the 18-19 year, look back at our data, we only had 22 spots for the whole 18-19 school year used by a kid on a team at Southwest High, that was a kid that went to UR Ridge. That could have been one kid on 3 different teams. So the board looked at that and said, we will honor the after-school activity bus and the plan we put in place through the first graduating class, but starting with 22-23, or 21-22 is stopped. Now, some other things we did, just to bring some attention to some other things, light duty diesel. We were constantly trying to find things that could be at UR Ridge, not other places. Light duty diesel. It started, it went in 23-24, low enrollment, we closed that program in 24-25. We put in some new CTE pathways in 24-25, early childhood development, Adobe Academy, public safety. I'll talk a little bit about more of those later in the study. The drone program was put in 19-20. We held on to that as long as we could. 23-24, we closed it because of lack of participation. This year, we were very excited. We put in 3 new CTE pathways. First time we've ever done this, we added a position that drives the bus, drives the kids over from UR to Randolph Community College. We've not done that for anybody else. And we put in plumbing, collision repair, and photography. Lack of interest, the photography pathway did not make, but right now plumbing, 5 of the 7 seats are used, collision repair, 3 of the 10 seats are used. And you can also see some extra work we did with community schools in 24-25, with career-focused framework. We had some targeted industry-aligned field trips for students in grade 6-12. Reality Store moved over to grade 9, and we did there the NUC special resume, interview skill workshop, and an on-campus career fair. So there's some examples now of what we did extra. So now we've come out of the overview. So that's a pretty long overview, but that gives you a little bit of the story. Now, why did we do this? Number one, we were trying to use the campus greater than it was being used. In fact, only 51.4% of the capacity was being used by students through May of 2017. Another thing that we hear all the time, we hear school choice. And one of the things that was said right off the bat in that January 17, 2017 meeting was, it's another school choice option in addition to Randolph Early College High School. It was an application school like Randolph Early College High School, and as we mentioned, we put in some things that weren't present in other schools, such as one-on-one technology, 3 schools of study, and multiple special pathways in CTE. So those are our reasons for opening the school. Now, a section here, I won't go back through it because it's already in the record. The enrollment history was included earlier in the overview, but it's the same information here. When you start talking about a possible school closure, you have several topics you have to address, and this is one of them. But I've been essentially through that just recently earlier in this presentation. So talking about capacity, showed you where the school went the first 4 years of URA 612, where it's gone. But I want to show this to you. So we've been working hard, as you know, with a group called the Institute for Transportation Research and Education at North Carolina State University, also called ORED. And they gave us an ORED 10-year student enrollment forecast for every school in the system. So you see right now, right above there, you see we have 369 students as of October 1 this year at URA Ridge. So we've had a decline, but unfortunately, the data we have for URA Ridge 612 does not indicate a reversal of this trend. As you can see, we have data for the next 10 school years, 26, 27, all the way out to 35, 36. ORED group did not do this with the thought that we were closing. They did this because we asked them, if you remember, to give us a projection of our schools. So if you look, here we go, 365, 348, 330, on down, 320. So we get to 320 and 35, 36. That is 49 students less than we have right now, and it's 19 less than we had in May 17. So to conclude this section on the enrollment history at the school, this information demonstrates that the interest in URA Ridge 612 has been declining. Furthermore, this information shows that this school campus is severely underutilized. Now, another section you have to respond to in this process is the school's performance. I mentioned it earlier. URA Ridge was included in the state accountability system from day one, year 1, 17, 18. And so below here, you see you have the school year, percentage of students out of at level 3 or higher on integrated or intercourse tests, because we have both on the campus. We actually have both on, if it's a high school course taught on middle school campus, they've got intercourse tests as well. Then you have schools with merit grade, schools letter grade, performance measure, and status of school performance. So if you look here, the NAs are the years that were interfered with by the COVID pandemic. There was a lack of data, but as you can see, the performance at the school has not met growth, is in low performing, and you can see the letter grades there. So in short, I just end this section with one of the things students at URA Ridge may benefit from being reassigned to other schools in the Randolph County school system with higher performance metrics. So I want to share that with you. The next section is redistribution of teacher positions. This is in here because this is an issue at URA Ridge and probably any school when you have a special project, special school choice option. URA Ridge has received state allotments and local allotments like everybody else based on student numbers. These have covered monetary resources and have covered staffing resources. But when you had middle school and high school on the same campus, it did cause us to put in extra positions, additional positions that weren't generated for the school by their enrollment. It's not URA Ridge, it's not their fault we did that, but this is a fact of the program that we put in place. And here they are. Board members, I could not find 17, 18, 18, 19, but these are the numbers of extra positions. And so I say this because it is likely to keep this program going. It is likely 26, 27. I can't see why there wouldn't have to be some extra positions because of the high school, middle school concept there. The average cost of position in the Randolph County school system, salary plus benefits, not salary, salary plus benefits. Average cost this year is $80,000. We know that will probably increase. Hopefully it will increase because benefits need to keep going up. Another thing that is worth mentioning is class sizes are smaller. And if you look at the ratio, looking at those, because we have to teach what has to be taught at the school. It's not necessarily, when I was a principal, in middle school and high school, I didn't spread teachers across kids, I spread kids across teachers. There's a difference. There was a school early on in my time here that had 3 art teachers. They didn't have near enough kids to have 3 art teachers. We had to address that. That was spreading kids across teachers. This way you spread teachers across kids. So, at any rate, the use of the additional positions that are at UR Ridge has had a negative impact on the schools in the system because they weren't there to be used there. So if the school was closed, those teacher positions could be redistributed across the school system. Or, as we mentioned last board meeting, there are some other things we've got with our enrollment overall that will cause our school system to have less positions in general for next year. All right, impact of the students currently enrolled in the school in the case of its closure. So I want to kind of slow down here a minute and just talk through this. So somebody says, well, what happens to the kids? Okay, let's talk about middle school first, because the 8th graders aren't going to be in middle school next year. We don't have 6th graders. We're not talking about people coming. We're talking about people who are in middle school to be in middle school next year, and that is your current 6th and 7th graders. 153 of those kids. And all but 3 of them will go to Southwest Randolph High School. It's off of middle school when reassigned.
We say that again?
153, it's right there. There's 153 kids in grades 6, 7, and all but 3 of that 153 is at the bottom of page 7. All but 3 of them would be reassigned to Southwest Randolph Middle School. And this is from our data pulled on January 29. Also on January 29, students in grades 8 through 11, these are current students in grades 8 through 11 at school, that will be your 9 through 12 next year. There's 188 of those kids, and all of those but 7 would go to Southwest Randolph High School. And the reason they go to Southwest Randolph High School, they're in the Southwestern zone. That's where they'd be reassigned. Their addresses would be aligned with those schools. So, now granted, if a child in grade 6, 11 right now wanted to use the student reassignment rules, they would be eligible to apply for reassignment to a school, not the one they're headed to. They could apply for another school. And if they went to another school, if it was approved based on our reasons, like say they didn't want to go to Southwest High, they could apply for another. They'd have to meet our reasons of student assignment rules. But in the student assignment rules, they also will have access aligned with their grade level. All their academic information will transfer. Will transfer to their new school, whether their grades or whatever. So, and each student would be eligible for bus transportation to his or her new school, provided it was the one aligned with his or her address. So say they applied, they didn't want to go to Southwest, they applied and they got approved to go to Ramlin. Well, then they have to get their own transportation to Ramlin. But I want to note also, students with disabilities who need particularized accommodations or special education services will be accommodated in accordance with their individualized needs. So what this section is saying to you, the impact on students currently enrolled in the school in case of its closure, is that if we closed UR Ridge, it would not have a negative impact on the students currently there. They would go to a new school, but a negative academic impact it would not have. They would have the same curriculum. And I want to speak to that in a second. So the next thing I want to share is impact to school system buildings in the case of the school's closure. So if we close UR Ridge, we would be closing the students' physical learning space and the staff's physical workspace. So the school would need to be cleaned and secured. The furniture and technology and any other supplies will go back to the surplus for the school system, surplus storage, and it would be redistributed as needed to support students as they go out, because obviously if Southwest High gets 150 more students, they will need more materials, more furniture, more technology than they have. But what you can say from this study is that, and I'll show you this in a minute, there will not be a need for the Randolph County School System to build a new school building if you move forward with closing UR Ridge 612. The Randolph County Board of Education at some point would have to make a decision what to do regarding the future of the building. So, impact to the enrollment of other schools in the school system in the case of the school's closure. So, here we go. We've done a lot of work with ORED group out of NC State. So, as of December 4, 2025, that ORED 10-year student enrollment forecast, completed by the Institute of Transportation Research at NC State, they projected, right here you can see, if nothing changes, you will have 225 students next year, grade 6A, 26, 27 at UI Ridge. They also project on this study, the same paragraph, you'll see they project that 435 kids will be at Southwest Randolph Middle School. So, I'm going to show you in a minute some more detail on that, but if UI Ridge is closed at the end of this year, Southwest Randolph High School will have, Randolph Middle School, will have enough seats to accommodate the students coming from UI Ridge in grade 6A. Now, you say, well, let's talk about that a little bit more. So the capacity at Southwest Randolph Middle School is 660. That study from NC State, referenced right here, says there are 435 students already going to be at Southwest Middle next year. It's grade 6A. Nothing changes. So, if you bring the 225 kids over from UI Ridge, then you have, ironically, that equals 660. And then just as a point of reference, this same study shows you that the next 10 years, Southwest Middle School's enrollment is projected to go down by 1. So just put that in there. That'll play a bigger factor at the high school level in just a second. But I wanted to share that. Now let's go to the high school. At the high school level, this thing, yes, sir.
So the 225, is this the current 6 through 8?
Next year for 26,
That's the
27.
fifth graders coming in 6 through 8, right?
It's 6A next
I
year.
got you, yeah.
And then they say there'll be 435, 6'8" in Southwest Middle next year, and 225, 6'8" at UI Ridge at Lincoln James. So ironically, that fits the capacity. Now, if you look at the high school, we get down to the high school, this same study shows 140 students are projected to be in grades 9, 12 at UI Ridge next year. And down here, it shows you that the same study is projecting 655 students at Southwest Randolph High School. So that clearly, Southwest Randolph High School has enough room to take on those 140 students in UI Ridge, because look down here. The capacity at Southwest Randolph High School is 1,021. And so after those 655 students that we already say are going to be at Southwest High next year, there are 366 seats vacant for the children to come from UI Ridge. So they fit in there. Now, another point of reference here, this study shows Southwest Randolph High School 10 years out at 35, 36, and it shows that their enrollment will go down to 47. So you've got room, plenty of room there. You've got room at Southwestern Middle to bring them in as well. So, again, I mentioned earlier, if we close UI Ridge 612, the state resources and local resources will follow the kids. Same token, the school system has used a teacher displacement process the whole time I've been here, and the teachers at UI Ridge will be moved to vacant positions in the school system. And there will be natural attrition, there will be retirements, there will be jobs that will open, so we will get on that very quickly if this is something that the board moves forward with. So you may say, well, what about if there is a space issue, maybe at middle school? Well, I have a report, and I did check with Larry Chilton. That report has not changed. You can see it right here. January 12, 2025, we have 29 mobile classrooms, and we have 75 mobile units. 69 we own, 6 we still lease. We've been getting, when I got here, we had 108 mobile classrooms, or mobile units. 29 mobile units that are not being used for classrooms, or there are restroom mobile units in our school system. So of those 29, 28 are used as follows: 22 for storage, 3 for offices, 3 for testing, and 1 is not being used at all. Now, I would tell you the 3 for offices probably is a strategic piece to get people in different places on a certain campus, but obviously we can free up between the 1 not being used and there's 22 for storage. We can free those up if we needed to. And Larry Chilton has confirmed last week that the data as of January 12, 2025 is not changed on that. Now, one of the things that will come up is geographic conditions. So what does this mean? This has to do with the travel distance from one school to the next. So let's go look at the current students in grade 6, 7, and the current students in grade 8, 11. So the current students in grade 6, 7, because again, the next grade of 6 isn't coming, these kids will be 7, 8. We're looking at who's there right now. Right now, home to school, they travel 8.11 miles, right now. So those current students, and that includes 3 students who were admissions or reassignments. So we did not include admissions because they're not in our school system. We did include the reassignment students' address from wherever they live to UR. We did include that. So right now it's 8.11 miles. If we close UR Ridge and the students were assigned to Southwest Middle, the 6, 7 students, or to another middle school, and what I mean that, by that other middle school means back to their base school, the travel distance will be 12.45 miles. So it's got a little bit of addition there. And so I made mention at the top, right here, student reassigned to a middle school other than Southwestern Middle is due to his enrollment. UR Ridge is a reassignment now. So we took all those kids that are in grade 6, 7, 153, the ones that are not, admissions were not included. But if they had an address in our school system, we went back to their address and traced them to UR Ridge now, and we went and traced them from their home to what their base school would have been. So, high school, same thing was done. Average distance right now for the high school kids, there's 188 of them. We excluded the admissions in here because they're not in the boundaries of our school system. We excluded them in these calculations right now. The high school kids, and I'm not giving you exact numbers, I don't want to identify anybody specifically because the numbers of reassignments and admissions are very low. You know that when you're talking about three in middle school, and you're talking 6, 7, you're talking about 7 in grades 8, 11. So we're talking about the 8, 11 kids. How much are they driving right now to get to UR Ridge from their home? 7.59 miles. How far would they drive if they were reassigned to Southwest High or to their another high school, which is the other high school would be the one that their home is aligned with? It would go to 13.33 miles one way. So, and again, admission students are not everywhere. So, yeah, that's why I mentioned in the original executive summary at the beginning, I talked about there will be some inconvenience and distance because what we're talking about here is middle school or the kids that are grade 6, 7 now, going from 8.11 miles to 12.45 miles. And the kids that are grades 8 to 11, which would be next year's high school, would go from 7.59 miles to 13.33 miles. So that's your geographic conditions. Again, admission students were not included in any of these calculations. So one of the last sections, analysis of inconvenience and hardship for UR Ridge 612 students. So in here, if we close UR Ridge, the current students in grades 6, 11 to be reassigned to Southwest Rental Middle School would have access to the same middle school curriculum as the one offered at their current school. The only exception would be they would gain access to an agricultural program which right now does not exist at UR Ridge 612. And it's a very successful one. So the middle school students, the 6, 7 kids, again, we're not talking about the kids coming to be in 6th grade, and we're not including the 8th graders because we're including them in next year's 8-11 calculation. They also would keep the computer science courses they have now at UR Ridge and keep the robotics program they currently have at UR Ridge. Okay, so that's really same middle school curriculum, adding agriculture. Now high school is a little different story. There's some good and some bad. Grades 8 to 11 students, current grade 8 to 11 students. First of all, they have access to advanced placement courses, which there are none at UR Ridge. There are none, so that will be a gain. They would also, another exception would be the curriculum, the career technical education curriculum, they'd have more opportunities. And I said, here's what they'd have that they don't have at UR Ridge. Health science, agriculture, food and nutrition, culinary arts, masonry, carpentry, interior design, animal science, horticulture, agricultural mechanics inside the agricultural program. So, there's 2 gains. Now here's one subtraction. At UR Ridge, they're one of 3 high schools that have a public safety program. And as of February 3, there are 18 students in the public safety program at UR Ridge. Okay? What I would tell you is 3 of those 18 will not be connected to the program at the end of the year, either due to graduation or completion of the pathway. So, there are 15 students who would lose access to public safety. But I'm going to say something in a minute about that. Also, if you close UR Ridge, you're going to lose access to those two pathways that are connected at Randolph Community College. There they are, collision repair plumbing. We're not talking about photography anymore because it didn't make. They lose access. There's 3 students in collision repair, there's 5 in plumbing. But here's the situation there. Nobody that's in that pathway now would be stopped because this is a 1-year pathway. They would earn their credential by the end of the year. Next year will be another group of kids in whichever pathway. So it's not like, and we are losing those. And I think it was 5 out of 7 spots and 3 out of 10. I think we had 10 seats there and 5 there for the, let me check that so I make sure I'm telling you that. There were 7 seats in plumbing and 10 seats in collision repair. So we have collision repairs using 3 out of 10, and we're using 5 out of 7 in plumbing. But what I'm saying to you is, when this year ends, the students in those programs, those 8 students will complete their credentials, so it's not stopping the program in the middle for anybody because the next cohort will be chosen. Now, what I felt inclined to write in this report, we've never done this, but this is a different time, and we haven't. This is particularly at the high school level. While the school system, I'm just going to read it. While the school system does not allow a student to be reassigned to another school based on program offerings, support for this type of exception could be made in relation to the situation. To be more specific, if a student currently enrolled in grades 9 through 11, so they're already in high school, and they were in a pathway like that public safety pathway. Wigmore High and Randall High have public safety. That's one comes to mind. I think that's something that I would encourage the board to say we need to honor if they want to go somewhere else. But I will tell you this, if a student gets reassigned, they go through the student reassignment process based on programming, we would not be able to offer, the responsibility of travel will be rest with the child. So, on this section, the analysis of inconvenience and hardship for UR Ridge 612 students, the last part of this we've already been through, but it needed to be included here because of the nature of this section. So I'm not going to go back through this. This is the travel distance, the 8.11 miles and 12.45 miles, and the 7.5 for high school to 13.33. So that's what you have at the bottom of page 11. Now, with a study like this at the end, there's a recommendation. I'm just going to read the recommendation so it's on record. This study identifies a certain level of inconvenience to the students currently in grades 6 to 11 at UR Ridge 612, as well as their parents, due to increased travel time in the case of the school's closing. However, these students will have access to more academic programs / opportunities. Furthermore, the closure of UR Ridge 612 will lead to a savings of approximately $1,300,000 and minimize other budget reductions across the entire school system. As a result, due to budget concerns and the other information identified in this study, as well as the fact that closure will not cause significant hardship to current students in grades 6 to 11, that's the ones that are currently there, 12th graders are leaving, the 5th graders aren't there yet, I recommend that UR Ridge 612 be closed at the conclusion of the 2025-2026 school year. So that is my recommendation. I also want to note this. This study was completed with the aid of the following documents: Randolph County School System 2025 Land Use Study Report, Fall 2025, This study was done by the Operations Research and Education Laboratory, or ED, Institute for Transportation Research and Education, referred to as ITRA, at North Carolina State University. That was one document that was involved in this study. Number two, because these are professional studies beyond our pool of data out of our data system in our school system. This is an outside group that we contracted with, as you know, as we're working on some other things in the school system. Number two, Randolph County School System Land Use Study, dated October 20, 2025. Same group did this, Operations Research and Education Laboratory, or ED, Institute for Transportation Research and Education, ITRA, at North Carolina State University. And then the third document here, as you can see, is an email on December 4, 2025 from Thomas Dudley, Program Manager, Operations Research and Education Laboratory, or ED, / Institute for Transportation Research and Education, ITRA, at North Carolina State University. Board members, if you remember, Thomas Dudley sent us that email out, and I will give you a copy of each of these, so they are included as attachments to the study tonight. At this point, formally attached them. We had a presentation by them in October, and the question was asked by a board member to give us the breakdown. Even though they did the 10-year out numbers for each school, a board member or two asked, can we see what grade levels those each year's kid number would be? And that's what that December 4 email from Thomas Dudley is. So at this point, I will give you these documents so you have them, and they are officially part of the public record for this study. And I know you already had them for today, but I want these attached to your study tonight. Yes, this is,
Okay.
and you may have one from other meetings, but this is an attachment to this formal study. So here's another report that's an attachment. This is one of the other reports I mentioned. And here is the December 4 email that I referenced as an attachment to this study as well. Okay, so I've done a lot of talking. Any questions from the board about anything I've presented?
I have one question, let me clear something up. I know for the last 4 years, basically, maybe, or at least the last 4 years, seems like every year we have conversation, what can we do to fix it? What can we do to make it work better? I mean, that's been a major conversation piece of this board. And I can tell you, it hadn't been taken light, but we fought hard for it. I mean, what can we try next? But I'm looking, tell me if I understand this correct. Example, 23, 24, 24, 25. Five additional teaching positions, 6 the next year. Does that mean let's just take an average, like Trinity Middle School or something. So this school, did it have 5 extra positions trying to make something work?
Trying to make master's
You're telling me that 5 extra positions for 300
above the allotment.
Above the allotment.
By the student.
Well, the other middle schools are basically based on allotment, and this one's had extra.
I mean, in some years, you may have to, if we haven't, we maybe had to give something to somebody to make something work, but that right there, that's 6.
So I know when you came, you guys started trying to, so you actually had 5 extra people. I didn't realize that. 6 extra people in 2024, and basically the school, the grade, it stayed the same. and the numbers went down.
Enrollment.
That's $400,000 more.
So that becomes where we were trying to address offerings at the school, because you've got high school and middle school kids there. So you gotta have the offerings enough to make the high school curriculum work, and you gotta have enough to make middle school curriculum work. But even before, when we were a small middle school, you're still having to make the elective wheels work in middle school, and so at 339, you think 660 back to 339, that's 260, that's, 300 some seats short.
But if I'm reading this, like if you say an average teacher benefits and whatever, it's like, let's just say $80,000, 60,000. So does that mean, like, when we had 5, we did like 5 times, we pumped in $400 extra $1,000 for
And
staff? Is that
that
correct?
particular year, the cost of the position was probably 70,000. The year we put 6 in, 24, 25, it was 77,000. Each year it's going up, the average cost, because, yeah, that's over and above, yes.
And you still didn't get any change? I rest my case.
Dr. Gainey, how can the public get access to what you just gave us?
This is posted on this is on the link right now.
Okay.
So anybody wants to go to it is a public document.
Yeah, I just want to
Every
make sure
moment
they
it posted
understood
this
that.
morning, or it's after, late morning, so it's out there for everybody.
Yeah, on page 5, I just want to make sure that I'm reading this correct. All right, so 339 was 6 through 8 in 2017. This,
16, 17, May 17,
Right.
it was 339.
okay, so the 369 that's on here,
That's including.
this is 6 through 12?
6 to
Okay.
12 has a
Six,
lot
All right,
of
when it says
Six
with
to-
grades 9 through 12, first it kind of led me to believe that was just
No,
the
I
high
just
school.
said-
So
I
That
said
was
with.
6 to
I
9,
understand it's with, but that's 6 through 12 is
through 9.
369.
2018 is only through 9th grade.
Right, I know, I'm just, when he's got 339 was 6 through 8 in 16, 17, and now it's 369.
Yeah, every one of those
Okay.
numbers, on page 5, Mr. Burgess, from 17, 18 on, every number in that chart represents the whole school. I was just saying in parentheses, this year we had grade 9, then we had 9 and 10, then we had 10 added, then 11 added, and 12. I wanted you to see that.
I got you, okay.
And so with the addition of these kids going to Southwest Middle or Southwest High School, those teachers would have the opportunity to potentially maybe go to those schools and teach, because that's gonna have to affect the
Yeah,
classes.
Yeah, that would be, so when kids go, kids dictate numbers of teaching positions, so yes, there will be opportunities for teachers to go with them. Yes, that would probably be the ideal thing in HR, is that we could move as many on with the kids and keep them in the same environment with the kids. But, there may be a teacher in War Ridge that says, well, since I have a chance to go somewhere, I might take a look at, when we do teacher displacement, we don't let people start making moves on other until we get everybody who's displaced placed. And that's just part of the deal. So sometimes people get a little frustrated because they want to bring in somebody from outside, and we say, we've got to get everybody placed.
Right.
Or, now, sometimes Andrea, because she's got it down to a science, her and her staff, that we may have, let's just say a band teacher. Okay, well, there's not anything band open, so, and there's nothing else that person could do on certification, so we may let principals start making moves on other non-band positions, because we're waiting for something to open. So every now and then, we might let somebody move on somebody early, but these people will be priorities. We closed the school last spring, and those individuals at that school were priorities, and that's what it'll be. And the sooner we know what we're doing, the better off we are. You've got positions, so that, okay, the positions are going to go away, but the people aren't.
Right.
The people are going to move to other positions in the system. That's where you're not going to take and give somebody else a second bookkeeper or a second data man.
Right.
But we also know we've got great people that principals are going to want. There's no question about that. There's no question about that.
And then from a parent's perspective, a transition for like those folks that have EC or other things, that they're gonna have like some type of transition packet or some kind of support to be able to get them to
Yes, it
feel
will.
good about what they're getting into?
We will certainly take care of that transition. Yes.
Did anyone else, did you guys realize you had that many extra positions? Or-
I didn't know that.
I didn't realize that.
But,
You know
So,
what the
like I
ratio
said,
per
because you got
student
9,
per
12.
teacher,
Yeah.
students per teacher is at that school?
They did approve it. So right now there's approximately 138 high school kids there, correct? What I looked at the report and just roughly added together.
No, hold on, Mr. Mr. Bowles. The number of high school kids, hold on,
180.
I have 188.
So,
No, okay, we're
That's
talking about
Verizon
different
High
things.
School.
We're talking about, my report reflects 8 through 11, it takes off,
that's
it
what, I
takes
was
off the
counting
12.
9 through
Yeah,
12
this
on
is-
that other report.
I'm looking at what high school, if everybody moved today from grade 8 to high school, so 8 to 9, 9 to 10 up, that's where the 188 is.
But I was looking, so we, the high school wasn't there, we'd be looking at a middle school setting roughly at 230 kids.
And you can make that, or let's just go, okay, let's just go here. So 225 and 140, that is, that, you know, Ed says about 225 there next year, middle school, and 140, so, yeah, if the high school went there, we'd have 225 kids next year.
I mean,
But the problem, what people don't understand, and I'm not saying it's bad, because you understand what your responsibilities are. You know, this became one of my big responsibilities as a principal and then in HR. To run a middle school, you have to have a certain number of elected positions to make what I call the elected wheel roll. And that roll, you've got to have it regardless if you've got 5 kids in there or 20 kids in each rung of the wheel or 30. So you've got to have the PE classes, the health classes, and you've got to have other offerings. And so we were already, you probably could make the case that at 339 students back in May of 17, we were already overstaffed then. But this study focuses on 17, 18 moving forward, other than the little bit of information I shared that's not in here about the middle school. But I've been curious. For the longest time, I thought that URI Middle School, when it was built, filled up, and then it started coming down. And then about 5 years ago, someone said it never did fill up. And so, when I started this study, I started looking there to see, that's where I got that, 9 to 15 years and never reached 430. And the biggest it ever was, the middle school was 457. This is nothing about the teachers. This is nothing about the kids. This is nothing about the community. It is a wonderful place. But I don't know how we can keep operating this when we continue to get handed reduced funding from the state. We have got to make hard decisions, and my job is to bring you options. I don't want you to have to make any more hard decisions than you have to. I don't enjoy that. I want you to enjoy your time as a board member. But I'm not doing my job as a superintendent when I see something like this and don't bring it forward as an option.
I mean, we all know that over the last several years, the charter schools and private schools have hurt the Southwest area more than any other district in the county.
By far.
I mean, by far. I mean, out of the students we've lost to those schools, probably 70% of them is from that area. So that's brought, that's brought Tabernacle, Farmer, and Yard Ridge way down in numbers. And for the ones out there that knows me, probably for 7 years on this board since this project started, I fought for Yard Ridge hard as anybody has. I mean, my kids went to school there. I've coached ball there. I've done the Hunter Ed program there. I fought hard for it. And, yeah, I'm torn between 2 places. That's like a home to me. And then again, I got this job to do too. So, it's torn between all of us. Gary's fought the battle with me, Todd has, and it's been hard. I mean, y'all teachers who's been there know how hard it's been. Us trying to build that school. And it's been hard. I mean, with students leaving to go to these other schools, that's killed us. And it's gonna be a hard decision to make.
And now with this study, it's showing us there's nobody coming to the
There's
school.
a,
It's not
it
gonna
is just
increase.
not that area.
Yeah. And
And,
that's a concern too.
It's really sad, you're right, because when we started the URA Ridge, I mean, it was to take off, some numbers from Southwest because it was crowded, then as the charter schools came, the charter school, plus, I don't know, just seemed like the population, they got older.
It's like we
It
talked
really cut it
earlier.
back.
I got on this board 13 years ago, we said 18,000 students. Now we're sitting at 14,000 students.
Farmer had over 500 students back then.
And be true, I'll throw it out there to y'all. The decision was ever's gonna be made, you can blame us if you want to. You need to talk to your legislators. That's who you need to talk to. They're the ones killing the school system, not this board.
Public school.
Okay, I know is there any way, I know it's only, I guess, 18 potential positions there. The CT pathways that we have, is there any way we can continue that at Southwest Randolph High School? Because those 18 positions are at the high schools, not, 9 through 12, you are, just not,
It'd be 15.
Yeah,
You mean
it's
public
15.
safety?
no, not public safety. I'm talking the
Plumbing and
the plumbing and
The ones going to
Yeah.
community college.
I
You know, I
understand there's
think-
nobody gonna be affected next year because we're gonna finish the things I'm
But
saying.
could we continue?
We've gotten our budget, and I understand this is probably part of that 1.3 million if we,
No,
That's part of
it's
it.
really not. It's not much. It's not. This is, I don't think,
I was saying, can you open it up to the entire Southwest Randolph High School if you did that?
I talked to David Cross, I wonder how many people, here's the thing with that, the community college agreed, so when I said, so just know this piece, when I said the number out of whatever, 5 out of 7 seats, 3 out of 10, the
Yeah.
community college designated, if y'all remember, this many seats will designate your kids.
Right.
This many seats were, so I don't see there be a problem unless David has a funding issue in CTE that we don't know of right now. But those are the kind of things we could look at moving forward, okay? But it's, the sooner we know, the better we are. Because do I believe we can fill, if you start, do the other 2 seats fill up in plumbing with maybe a kid or 2 at Southwest already? I don't doubt they would. Do the other 7, or what happens? I don't doubt that would happen. So we've already got in place the bus, we've got in place the driver. It's all working.
And I know it's pennies, but it's 10 miles shorter from Southwest to RCC than it is from Garden Ridge to RCC. But, and make sure I understand it right. That's a 1-year program anyway, as far as there's nobody, those 8 students, they're not gonna be continuing into it next year anyway.
No,
So
they might have joined the other ones the next year,
Right,
but
but
no
I'm
one's
saying-
gonna get caught in the middle of a pathway
Okay,
and not be able to finish. They finished this year, and I researched this with David Cross.
Yeah.
So anybody taking these next year would be new to it.
okay.
Are those 2 pathways at any other high school?
Not this way at the community college. I don't think they are. Because this is all taught on the community college course, the collision repairs and the Petty Center.
Kids again.
I don't think they are. They may hit some of it in some of the pathways, but they don't hit it like this. So they're coming out with that plumbing credential and that collision repair.
Now, you presented your recommendation. Where do we go from here? What happens next?
Well, I present it to you, the board has to make a decision on whether to move forward with having the public hearing.
There's a motion here to be read if you want to go.
So board members, so you understand the statute for closing a school. There are 2 things that have to happen before you can vote to close a school. The first is that a thorough study has to be conducted and reviewed. So you've done that. The second is that you have to have a public hearing, give everybody notice and opportunity to come and voice their opinions and give you their opinions about closing the school. Then you can vote, and the standard that you use
when determining whether to close the school is what is in the educational interest of the whole school system. So the study and the hearing are focused on the people who are gonna be impacted, but the decision is about the whole school system. So that's the process. I would recommend that you vote on whether to have a public hearing. That way it's really clear that you're moving through the statutory requirements and you can give direction to give notice of the hearing.
Is the vote to close, whenever you get to the vote to close the school or not to close the school, is that done at the hearing? Is it done at a separate time or what?
As long as it is after the hearing, it can be at the same, you can do it all at the next board meeting, or you could have a separate hearing, or you could wait until the following board meeting. So it's up to you all. You can set the public hearing for whatever time you like, as long as you give adequate notice.
So Elizabeth, if the board chose to make a motion to have a hearing, would it be, in your legal advice, would it be advantageous to set the date and time of the hearing tonight, or in their motion, or?
I do
that's what
think
they
that
did
would
last
be
time.
ideal, because then it would be in the record and very clear, but you don't have to. But I think if you can go ahead and set the date and time now, that would be very helpful.
If you set it,
So what are you saying? Are you saying like,
well, I'm just saying, when you make a motion, include in the motion the date and the time, whether it's the next board meeting, or when you want to do it.
If it's just gonna be the next board meeting, just say at the next board
Because
meeting.
if you don't,
okay,
then that could be floating around, when is it gonna be, whereas if you do it now, if you make the motion, you do it now, it's on the public record right here in this meeting, that you said.
What does the agenda or whatever, the agenda, I guess, have to be of that hearing? Is this something where we're gonna allow a certain number of people to speak? What's the
Sure.
process for that? So-
It would be like your public comments. I think you would use that policy, unless you all wanted to set a different one, where people have an opportunity to sign up. I do not recommend limiting the number, and so everybody should get a chance to speak to you. But there should be restraints, your standard rules about 3 minutes and.
We did 3 minutes last year with the closing of Virtual Academy.
right.
We had a separate sign-in sheet that night for that,
They will
and
build.
had the hearing the night of the board meeting.
Elizabeth, I got a question. Suppose we set the date, just throwing a date out, March 9th on Monday, okay? And you set it up to where the public can do the comments and everything like that. On the following Monday, do we have to have a public comments additionally for also?
As long as you are having sufficient number of public comments per year, I think it's quarterly is the state law. But the public comment period is different than the public hearing, so it would be a different.
Last time you did it, the board meeting, you just did a separate thing, if I remember right.
That's what I was thinking.
You did it the same night you had a board meeting, you just had regular public comment, and you had the hearing. You had the hearing public comments, and you had slot for regular connection.
It's just a matter of whether you think there'll be enough time.
All right, I'm just gonna give an opinion for whatever it's worth, okay? And you can disagree with me, I'm fine with that. I understand it has so much to do with, the financial piece, and the school hasn't grown. And I can see both sides, that to some people, that close-knit, that special, may never find that anywhere else. And that's a big deal, and it is a big deal. Some kids struggle when they're, in a bigger, bigger environment. Your reads is great for that. I just, unfortunately, we had the best of intentions when we started that, and, like I said, the charter schools and all that started coming, then the numbers come down. And I guess the sign says students first and all we do, but the way the state funds us and the way, we put 5 people there extra, 6 people there extra. And no less people came, and nothing really changed. And I can tell you, Tracy, probably spoke louder than anybody trying to, let's make it work, let's pour everything we can into it, and we have poured a lot. But as far as if we decide to, have a public hearing, I feel like if you have a public hearing, you have all these recognitions in here. I mean, you got a room full of people, you go through that. I almost feel like you owe it to those people to have the public hearing, I mean, at a different time.
I do too.
And you don't even have to do it, you can either do it here, or here's fine. But I think you need to do it at a different time. You owe it to those people to speak and give them the time they need, where they're not, feel like they're just, you know what, they're not starting a number coming in and you're gonna listen to them and boom, we gotta get out of here. I think you owe it to them to do it at a different
I
setting.
think we owe it to them for a separate date, and
Yeah,
also for us to take what we listen.
I don't wanna
what we
vote
hear.
that night, I'd rather
Yeah,
come back and
what-
vote it.
Yeah, what
We
we
can look at
hear
the
and
night
be
or
able to
something.
think about it.
And if anybody, if you come up with any other ideas, I challenge to, I don't know, I wish I know the sports thing, I thought would be a hit. I thought, you know, they still get, you know, and then it was 16 and it was falling, you know, I thought that would make a difference.
Every time we came up with something, we thought.
Every
this
time
is
I
it,
come
this
up with
is
something,
it.
thought it was gonna make a difference, it hasn't.
So next board meeting's 16th.
16, we can do it tonight, let's do it, can we do it on the 9th? What do you guys think? Do you think we owe it, I mean,
We owe.
I just hate to do it at a board meeting.
Maybe it's too long, we want everything to,
Huh?
I like your comment, it gives space between the hearing.
Yeah.
May, it's up to y'all.
I wanna read that.
Wait a minute, go.
I like for all board members, if you can't, we could work it out another.
That'll be our public hearing.
I think we did we do it, maybe we did it separate last year, too.
No, you
No, we
did
did.
it at the same night, but I will say that having it
It's less
separate is a
students.
But that
typical
was- yeah,
practice
that was
for a
time, yeah,
in-person
that's
school.
what it was.
We don't,
That's a
when we did it.
But it's less students.
But when you deal with, when we deal with the virtual academy, you're dealing with a
Virtual
whole
kids,
lot
less
less,
students affected.
less students, less teachers, less people. And you know, these people sitting here, they pour their heart and soul into that school. And I don't want to come in here and feel like I'm shortchanging them by not listening to them. You know, I mean, I know where they came from. Before I got on this board, I was up here at several board meetings beating the doors about farmer was or not here.
He was.
And,
He
and that board then, they didn't shortchange me. And I said, you know, these people deserve to be heard.
So did we,
I agree.
was that,
Yeah, the 9th is.
the 9th work for everybody?
Yep, we'll make it work.
All right, so you need a motion that goes ahead and sets the public hearing for March 9th at 6 p.m. here.
We just need to schedule a meeting on the 9th.
March 9th.
Yes.
Unless you guys want a different time.
Yeah, I don't, that's,
You wanna do it here?
you think it's gonna be,
Yeah, we might as well.
Can we, yeah.
all right.
Tracy,
I'll move that, a public hearing be held on March 9th at 6 o'clock. Scheduled here at our board meeting room, about the public hearing regarding the proposal to close UR Ridge 612.
All right, we have the motion, do we have a second?
So moved. Second.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, on March the 9th, we'll have a public hearing.
So on that night, we not, I mean, as far as discussion between us or anything, we're not doing that, and so,
We may discuss that.
I mean-
I don't know,
it's not a
I'm
closed
sure we
session.
will.
thing,
No,
so
it's not. No,
Okay.
for the most part, I think we'll just listen and, you know, I would like to think we'd stay after that and we discuss it some and, you know, I don't wanna get into, you know,
COVID.
no, I don't want anybody, no argument, I mean, I don't wanna handle this thing professionally and try to make the right decision and Lord, if somebody brainstorms and comes up with a great idea, I'm definitely open for it. All right, okay, let's see where we're at. definitely.
Closed session, you can read it.
I appreciate the passion and the concern you guys for coming out here tonight and, the unity.
And I just want to piggyback what he said. I appreciate the staff being here. Appreciate your parents. I know this is a tough decision. This affects my community. This is where I grew up. So I've got a lot of things to look at, but we're thankful for everything y'all do. Parents, we thank y'all for coming out. Just please understand that this is not personal to y'all.
It's not like, we're not taking it lightly.
This is something that we've been dealt roughly $5 million in cuts. And I can proudly say that nobody's lost their job yet. And regardless of which way this goes, hopefully nobody will lose their job over this. I know it won't be the same, but we appreciate you. And thank you.
And the thing is, you know, the staff has worked hard, you know, the Central Service worked hard, you know, by adding a high school there. And if we didn't have that high school there 2 or 3 years ago, we'd be sitting right here now, again. Because you'd look at a school with 230 kids, middle school with it, students in it. So it ain't got nothing to do versus middle school or high school.
You know, unfortunately, if we had the money to do everything we wanted to do, we wouldn't be sitting here either. A lot of things we do differently, but, I don't know if all of you know this or not, but, in the last year, was it $5 million? Basically, that we've been shorted funding. Am I correct on that? Close?
We're working on $4.6 million cut, and then now we have another $2 million cut coming, so by the time we get to next year, we will cut $6.6 million out of our budget.
Randolph County used to get, like, they called it low well funding, and it was like, was it what, 10 million?
It was $10 million last
$10
year.
million.
$7.5 million this year.
And they cut that back. I mean, I'm not sure. You know, the rumor says, you know, I can't say, but my thoughts personally, I think maybe when the mega site came, it changed the, you know, the outlook, made Randolph County look like a more wealthy county. And, I don't know anybody's got anything out of Toyota yet unless you work there.
I mean, like I say, these reports we got, they're public knowledge, correct? Y'all can go look at, y'all can go look and, I've had Dr. Gainey's staff pull up numbers. You know, Randolph County, we're not the only county fighting this. I mean, you listen to news, Guilford County, Forsyth
Davis
County,
is looking at it.
they're, you know, they have closed schools, multiple schools. The Toyota, everybody thought Toyota was gonna be great. So did we did. It's gonna take us 20 years to get our investment back from Toyota. We heard that straight from the horse's mouth. So don't think Toyota has dumped a lot of money in Randolph County, because we sure haven't seen none of it.
All right, Chair.
Okay.
Any more?
All right, anybody else?
We're ready.
Okay, all right, I move that the Randolph County Board of Education enter into a closed session pursuant to North Carolina General Statute 143-318.11A1 and 3 to preserve the attorney-client privilege to discuss confidential personnel matters protected by state law.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
waiting for someone else to take. I got enough in my floorboard, my car as it is.
Exact memory?
I think I got some details for my car.
Pretty good.
My car's broken into.
Ready? Okay, we need a motion to approve the certified personnel report.
So moved.
Have a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Need a motion to approve the classified personnel report.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Opposed? Okay, need a motion to adjourn the meeting.
To adjourn Beverly's last board meeting.
Yes.
I vote no.
Oh. All those in favor say aye. Opposed?
Did anybody vote?
All right, Beverly, we're gonna get you.
Nobody
Shan-
wanted to vote
Shan-
on that.
Yeah,
Nobody wanted.
Shan made the motion and,